What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. With just a few days left before the release of Lightfall, it's a great opportunity to get your loadouts ready for those legendary campaigns, the new raid, and new challenges. So today we are taking a look at the best Void Hunter build to take into Lightfall. A build that is already top of its class and will only be getting better when Lightfall releases. This build features the Gyrfalcon's Hauberk exotic chess piece, in tandem with the Collective Obligation exotic pulse rifle, an exotic that's only available through the Vow of the Disciple raid. With that in mind, for those who do not own this exotic, there are some amazing substitutes, such as Layman Arc, Graviton Lance, or legendary void weapons like the Hero's Burden with Repulsor Brace. But the inclusion of the Collective Obligation is what really makes this build excel, as it has amazing synergy with the Gyrfalcon's Hauberk. Lightfall will see a number of changes being made to mods and build crafting in general. So with that in mind, I'll be touching base on the basics and the core of this Void build, what you'll need to set it up before Lightfall, and what changes will be made when Lightfall releases. For starters, let's talk about why we're using the Gyrfalcon's Hauberk. This exotic chess piece comes with an extremely unique intrinsic trait called See Me, Feel Me. This trait gives volatile rounds to void weapons for 10 seconds after going invisible. When performing a finisher while invisible, all weapons will receive a 35% bonus in damage for 6 seconds. When a finisher is performed while invisible, you and your nearby allies will receive a reserve overshield and a massive bump in class ability regeneration. This reserve shield provides a void overshield that's worth 40 health points that will last for a total of 10 seconds. Lightfall will see a number of nerfs to resilience, so being able to provide you and your allies with overshields can become extremely useful in legendary campaigns and the more challenging content that Lightfall will offer. The ability to grant volatile rounds to void weapons will be especially beneficial since we're pairing Gyrfalcons up with the Collective Obligation. This pulse rifle comes with 2 intrinsic traits that create some amazing synergy on their own, but even more so with the Gyrfalcons. First, we've got Void Leech, which causes Collective Obligation to leech debuffs from targets who are under the effects of weakening, suppression, or volatile. This builds up an alternate mode that uses that leeched energy and converts it into rounds that deal either weakening, suppressing, or volatile effects to targets for 10 seconds. This will be especially beneficial in Lightfall, where volatile rounds can pierce anti-barrier shields. Through the new seasonal artifact tree, pulse rifles will get anti-barrier rounds, but it won't really be needed when volatile is already doing the job. During the 10-second window of Void Leech, the Collective Obligation receives a 20% bonus in damage. This damage bonus stacks on top of the 35% damage bonus provided by Gyrfalcons, and since Gyrfalcons will provide volatile rounds after invisibility, the Collective Obligation will most always have volatile rounds, if not weakening or suppression, based on other aspects of this build. The Collective Obligation also comes with Umbral Sustenance, which reloads the magazine when you gain Devour, avoid Overshield, or become invisible. And now we have achieved harmonious synergy, because there are so many ways that this build grants either Devour, Avoid Overshield, or Invisibility, meaning there will hardly ever be a need to manually reload the Collective Obligation. Which brings us to the Void class tree, where we can really amplify the synergy between Gyrfalcons and the Collective. While Marksman Dodge will be great for getting our other weapons automatically reloaded, I prefer the use of Gambler's Dodge when using the Collective. We're already getting automatic reload from Umbral Sustenance, so it's better to have the melee recharged instead, giving us our smoke bomb back at a more consistent rate. Our smoke bombs provide an additional benefit while using Collective Obligation, as the effects of smoke bombs will weaken targets, which can then provide the Collective with weakening rounds. Since Overload champions will be stunned by suppression, using suppressor grenades will give us one of a number of ways to handle these guys when they show up in legendary campaigns and Nightfalls. And don't forget that the Collective Obligation will siphon those debuffs, giving it suppression rounds in return. The choice in aspects and fragments revolves around the use of Gyrfalcons and Collective, so with that in mind, we're using Vanishing Step, which grants invisibility when dodging, and we're using Trapper's Ambush, which gives us the quick fall slam that weakens enemies and causes you and allies to go invisible. Currently, these selected aspects only provide 3 void fragments. This could be changed in Lightfall, opening this build up for additional improvements. But currently, we're running Echo of Persistence. While it does reduce mobility by 10 points, it does provide us with extended time for overshields and Devour by 5 seconds, and a 40% increase in invisibility duration. We're also running Echo of Starvation, which grants Devour whenever picking up an orb. This will be our main source of regenerating health, which means we'll need to create plenty of orbs, so using a Siphon mod on helmets will create orbs after void weapon kills, which will go hand in hand with our heavy focus towards the Collective obligation. We're also using Echo of Obscurity, which will grant invisibility whenever performing a finisher, synergizing very well with the use of the Gyrfalcons. While we've spoken a great deal about the benefits that the Collective obligation brings to this build, we have yet to talk about the 2 other weapons that complete this loadout. We're using the Retrofit Escapade Heavy Machine Gun with 4th times the charm and target lock. This is going to dish out some big boy damage when heavy machine guns get another damage bonus and a bump in reserve ammo next season. Even with a boost in ammo reserves though, it would be a wise option to run Finder, Scavenger, and Reserve mods for heavy machine guns, especially when using the retrofit for boss DPS. We're also using the Deliverance, another Vow of the Disciple weapon, a stasis fusion rifle that comes with Demolitionist, which will help towards regenerating our suppressor grenades, and it also comes with Chill Clip, which will stun overloads with its slowing effects and stun unstoppables when its crystals shatter. When Lightfall releases, the new seasonal artifact tree will include Volatile Flow, which grants volatile rounds after picking up an orb. While this won't make much of an impact on this build, for those who may not have the Gyrfalcons, this will be a great artifact mod to enable. Bricks from Beyond will also be a seasonal mod worth enabling, as defeating powerful enemies with void weapons has a chance of generating heavy ammo. The Void Weapons Channeling mod looks to be the most beneficial of all the seasonal mods, as it grants your Void Weapons a bonus in damage after kills with that weapon, while having at least 1 charged ability. The damage bonus gets increased for having more abilities fully charged. While we don't have full details on what all changes and new additions armor mods will see, there are several current mods that will continue to be of benefit, like Melee Kickstart to regenerate 15% of your melee energy, or Impact Induction, which returns grenade energy after hitting an enemy with your melee. There's also the class item mod called Outreach, which reduces your melee cooldown when using your class ability. And if you're running a Harmonic Siphon mod to generate orbs, it's worth using the Invigoration Boots mod to regain melee energy after collecting an orb. Since a strong Invisible Hunter build relies on the regeneration of smoke bombs and dodges, it will be wise to stack your armor with high mobility, which will reduce the recharge rate of your class ability. Stacking strength will also be beneficial to reduce the recharge rate of your smoke bomb. Lightfall will see several new mods that provide armor, resilience, and ability regeneration, which will greatly improve your abilities at taking on the legendary campaign and all of the other challenging content that Lightfall will offer. While mods like Powerful Friends and Radiant Light will be no more, there should be an abundance of new and exciting mods that provide great substitutions. Once the new mod systems have been fully revealed, we'll be breaking down all the key details that you need to know for making the most superior builds in Lightfall, so be sure to stay tuned to the channel for all the latest Lightfall news. That's going to wrap things up for today's Void build, featuring the Gyrfalcon's Hauberk and the Collective Obligation. Be sure to check out the Destiny Item Manager link in the description below so you can easily duplicate this Void Hunter build for yourself. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this build and what build you'll personally be using when Lightfall releases in just a few days, so let me know in the comments below. Thank you as always for checking out the video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated and both really do help support the channel. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.